Hey students, how's it going? It's Mr. Selby here. So today what we're gonna do is go over. Today you should be taking a quiz or test, but I'm gonna go over another form of the test. So if you have any questions or anything, or if you pay attention to this, you should be able to do pretty well on the test. All right. If you have questions or anything, don't forget you can always see us during office hours. You can always message me on Schoology. You can always email me. All right. So I'm going to go through these questions, and what I want you to do is try and go through these questions with me. And like I said, if I don't answer one of the questions you have, please come to office hours or message me. All right, those would be the best two options. You can always email me, but messaging on Schoology will probably get you a faster response, or come to office hours. All right, suppose A and B are points. How many lines contain both point A and B? So if you were to draw, let's see, if you were to draw A and B, so we could call this A, and we could call this B. All right, so A right here, and B right here. You draw all the lines in the world that you would like, all infinite amount of lines. Okay, you could draw a line here or a line here, but as long as they're straight lines, which I can't draw right now because of this, there's only one that would ever go through A and B. All right, so our answer for this one would be B. All right. All right. Oops. Go forward a little bit. Okay. So for exercise 2 and 3, use the figure at the right. So we're using this figure right here. All right. Which 3 points in the figure are collinear? All right. So don't forget what collinear means. Collinear means co together and linear on a line. So which 3 points are all on the same line? So let's go through these one at a time and see if we can figure it out. We've got C, D, and F. They are not all on the same line. If you drew one straight line through them, they would not be a straight line. It wouldn't go through all of them. We have G here, which is A, E, F. So A, E, and then F. Unfortunately, they are not a straight line. B, C, D. All right, so B, C, and then D. That is not a straight line either. And then we've got A, D, E. A, D, E. Perfect. J is going to be our correct answer for that one. They are all collinear. A to D to E. All right. Name the intersection of the plane that contains points A, B, and D, and the plane P. Okay. All right. So name the intersection of the plane that contains points A, B, and D. All right. So A, B, and D are going to be on this plane right here. All right. With this kind of like triangle right here is the plane. All right. And the plane P is the plane that D, B are on. Okay. So actually, the answer for that one would actually just be the segment, or would be the line BD. Okay. Because remember, when two planes intersect, it forms a line. So line BD would actually be the correct answer for this one. All right. Find the length of XY. So here's X, here's Y. We have a little ruler here underneath. We're going to measure it out for the length of XY. So for this one, what you want to do is you kind of want to see that it's greater than an inch. So all of these are greater than 1 inch. All right. And as you can see, there are 15 dashes separating the 1 from the 2, which means that it's split into 16 different sixteenths. All right. So if we look at this, we can kind of see that it's greater than the halfway point, which would be 8/16 or 1/2. So we know it's greater than J. All right. You can also see that it kind of almost makes it to the 3/4 mark. So we know it's less than 3/4, which in this case would be 12/16 or 3/4 or 6/8. All right, so we're left with 11/16, 5/8, or 9/16. All right, so if we look at it, it is 1 dash short of 3/4. Okay, so that would be 12/16, and 1 dash short of that would be 11/16. So 11/16 F is going to be the correct answer for number 4. All right, so given A is between Y and Z, and YA equals 14x, AZ equals 10x, and YZ equals 12x plus 48, find AZ. All right, so this is really hard to just even just think about. But I'm going to go ahead and draw it for you guys. So drawing skills aren't great here, but we'll roll with it. So we've got y and z, y and z. And it says A is between them, so we'll call this A right here. All right, and it says y to A is 14x, so this part right here is 14x. And then this part, A to Z, is 10x. But the whole thing, y to z, is 12x plus 48. All right, so we know that y to a is 14x, from a to z is 10x, but the whole trip altogether is 12x plus 48. So we got to figure out what is a to z really. All right, we know it says 10x, but we need to figure out what 10x is in terms of like how far it is. All right, you can't just say like let's just say y is a place that starts with a y that I can't think of right now. We'll say y is Yemen. All right, and a is Alaska, and z is Zimbabwe. So from Yemen to Zimbabwe is 12x plus 48. From Yemen to Alaska is 14x, and from Alaska to Zimbabwe is 10x. All right, we're going to assume that they're going to go via the route. They're going to go east from Yemen to Zimbabwe. So from Yemen to Alaska is 14x, and from Alaska to Zimbabwe is 10x. All right, the whole trip was 12x plus 48. How far is it from Alaska to Zimbabwe? We know it's 10x, but what does x equal? We got to figure that out to figure out what Alaska to Zimbabwe is. All right, so luckily for you guys, Mr. Selby already did kind of this. All right, let's see if we can go a little bit bigger on this. Move this up just a little bit and maybe over a little bit. Oh man, can't find the zoom thing. There it is. Cool. We'll zoom this up to 100. All right, fantastic. All right, so like we already described here, A is between y and z, already did it. Ya is 14x, az is 10x, and yz is 12x plus 48. And we know ya, right, is plus az equals yz. All right, so then I just plugged in the numbers. Ya equals 14x, so 14x is plugged in. Az equals 10x, plugged in 10x for az, and yz equals 12x plus 48. So I plugged in 12x plus 48 for yz. Then I combine my like terms. 14x plus 10x equals 24x. Then, I'm here with 24x equals 12x plus 48. I have to get all my x's to the same side so I can solve for x. So what I did was I subtracted 12x from both sides. All right, so 24x minus 12x equals 12x. 12x minus 12x equals 0. And then you just drop the 48 down. So then we're left with 12x equals 48 here. All right, then we have to get x by itself. So we got to get rid of that 12. So to get 12x to just x, we divide both sides by 12. 12x divided by 12 equals x. 48 divided by 12 equals 4. So x equals 4. And what do you know? One of the answers here is 4. And if you circle this, you would be wrong because it's not asking you to find x. It's asking you to find az. All right? Don't get caught on that on the quiz. So az equals 10x. So what you can do is you can do 10 times 4. All right? Plug in the 4 for x. Okay? 10. So instead of 10 times x equals 10 times 4. 10 times 4 is 40. So actually 40 was the correct answer, not 4. All right? Don't get caught on that on the quiz. All right, so find the length of HJ. All right, so HJ is this segment right here, this section of the segment. So we know that GH right here equals 16.8, and GJ, the whole segment, equals 29.1. So if you go from Greg's house to Herschel's house, and then from Herschel's house to Jake's house, all right, the whole trip was 29.1 centimeters. They live really close together. and their aunts. And Greg to Herschel's house is 16.8. So how far is it from Herschel to Jake's house? All right, that's what we got to solve here. So Greg to Herschel is 16.8. Herschel to Jake, we don't know. So we're going to signify it as X. We know the whole trip was 29.1. So if you add Greg to Herschel's trip plus Herschel to Jake's, you get the whole thing from Greg to Jake. All right, so sub in our numbers, 16.8 for the first segment, X for the second, 29.1 for the total. All right, subtract 16.8 from both sides to get X by itself. 16.8 minus 16.8 is just X. 29.1 minus 16.8 should be 12.3. All right, so from Herschel Jake's, HJ is going to be 12.3 centimeters. All right. All right, find the value of X if S is between R and T. RS is X plus 3, ST is 5X, RT is 57. All right, so this is the same thing as this problem up here, okay? Except instead of it saying A is between Y and Z, it says S is between R and T. So if you just wrote this is R, this is S, and this is T, and switched around the numbers, it would be the same thing. So that's what I did. RS equals X plus 3. ST equals 5X, RT equals 57. I literally copied that straight from the problem. And I know that RS plus ST equals RT. So then I sub in my numbers. RS equals X plus 3, ST equals 5X, and RT equals 57. X plus 3 plus 5X. Let me combine my like terms, and I get 6X plus 3, 50 equals 57. All right, so now I've got 6X plus 3 down here equals 57. I subtract 3 from both sides to get X by itself here. That's what I'm going for. I'm trying to get X by itself. So subtract 3 from both sides. 6X equals 54. Then still X is not by itself. It's got the 6 times X right here. So I got to get rid of the 6 times X and just make it X. So I divide both sides by 6. 6X divided by 6 equals 54 divided by 6. 54 divided by 6 is 9. 6X divided by 6 is just X. So X equals 9. And for this one, it says find the value of X, not RS or ST or anything. So find the value of X, it's going to come out to 9. All right. So hopefully you guys have got this so far. I'm going to keep going here. All right. Find the distance between M and N. All right. So first thing I did was copy down the coordinates. Make sure I got the right points there. M is negative 2, 3, and N is 8, 2. All right, perfect. All right, distance formula. Square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. All right. I can't find the square root symbol. Sorry, guys. So, yeah, that's what it is right now. So, m equals negative 2, 3. We already knew that, but now I labeled them as my x1, y1. My n is 8, 2. Labeled them my x2, y2. I copied the formula, and then I plugged everything into the formula. So, as you can see, square root of 8 minus negative 2 squared plus 2 minus 3 squared. All right. Again, I copied the formula just because there's this page break here. So I copied it so that way you guys would see it's a continuous movement. All right. So 8 minus negative 2 is going to come out to 10. All right. Square root 10. Square root of 10 squared plus negative 1 squared because 2 minus 3 is negative 1. So let me square them both. 10 squared is going to come out to 100. Negative 1 squared is going to come out to 1. And you add them together and you get the square root of 101, all right, which should be J. All right. Number 9, find the coordinates of the midpoint of AS if A is negative 4, 7 and S is 5, 3. Okay, so I copied my coordinates down, copied the midpoint formula. mx equals x1 plus x2 divided by 2, my equals y1 plus y2 divided by 2. All right. Then I labeled my coordinates x1, y1, x2, y2. All right, copied the formula again, plugged in everything into the formula. All right, my x1 is negative 4, my x2 is 5. So negative 4 plus 5 divided by 2. My x2 or my y2 is my y1 is 7, and my y2 is 3. So divide those by 2 after I add them together, and eventually it's going to come out to negative 4 plus 5 equals 1. Divide that by 2, you're going to get 1/2. 7 plus 3 equals 10. Divide that by 2, and you're going to get 5. All right, so 1/2 and 5 is the correct answer, which in this case would just be C. All right. Okay, difficult problems, but they get easier the more practice you do. All right. So what type of angle is BAC? All right. So this is BAC here because remember, we go from the first point to the second point to the third, and we should be able to see what our angle is right here. Okay, BAC. If you look at that, you can tell that it is not a straight angle, right? It's not a straight angle. It's not a straight line. It's an angle. So we know it's not a straight angle. It's definitely not a right angle. We can look at that and say, definitely not a right angle. Is it obtuse? It's definitely not large enough to be an obtuse. You can clearly look at it and know that it is an acute angle. All right. If you are having trouble with this on the quiz, there is a protractor on the quiz that you can use. All right. There's should be a little protractor button. If you have a question with that, please be sure to contact me. All right. Use a protractor to measure the angles in the figure. Which segment is an angle bisector? Unfortunately, I do not have the protractor on this thingamajigger. Okay, because it's a Microsoft Word. But on Schoology, there is a protractor. So to measure the angles in the figure, which segment is an angle bisector? All right, for this one, it is actually going to be GCD. So as you can see, BCF is the angle. If you measure BCD and DCF, they are equal, and CD, therefore, is the angle bisector. All right, 13 to 17. So 13 was a little bit feisty. If you, we got to find the measure of angle VSW, okay, which is right here, VSW. If WSR, which is this one, and VSW are complementary. So remember, complementary means if you add them together, they equal 90 degrees, okay, which is why it says right here, VSW plus WSR equals 90. And WSR, which is right here, is 4 times the size of VSW. Wow. Okay, so VSW, we don't know what it equals, so we're just going to say it equals X. WSR, we know it's 4 times as large, so we're going to say it's 4X. So X plus 4X, because they're complementary, equals 90. Okay, that makes sense, right? You add them together, they're going to equal 90. We don't know what they equal, so it's X, and we don't know what this one equals, but we know it's 4 times larger than that one, so we call it 4X. All right, so X plus 4X equals 90. X plus 4X equals 90. Combine your like terms, you're going to get 5X equals 90. Then divide by 5 on both sides to get X by itself. 5X divided by 5 equals 90 divided by 5, which these cancel out, leaving you with X. 90 divided by 5 goes down to 18. VSW equals X, so VSW equals 18. And it's asking you, what is the measure of VSW? Okay, in this case, it is 18. All right. Which pair of angles are supplementary? Okay, so when you're looking for pairs of angles that are supplementary, what you really want to do is look for angles that when you combine them, they would make a straight line. All right? So in this case, you would look at TSV, okay, TSV, and VSW. See how TSW is a straight line right here? And VSW is the only part of it that's missing from it. So if you add this angle plus this angle, it's going to equal 180 degrees. It's going to be a straight line. All right. So which angle is a vertical angle to angle UST? So we've got UST right here. And remember, vertical angles are when you have a straight line, all right, that is directly diagonal, okay? So when you have 2 straight lines that cross, the angle directly diagonal, all right, so here's UST, so whatever this angle is, right directly diagonal, which in this case would be DWSR, would be the vertical angle. All right, number 16, VSR, right here, VSR equals 8X plus 18. Find the value of X so that US, right here, is perpendicular to VS, right here. So if this is perpendicular, that means they make a 90-degree angle. All right, and if this angle is 90 degrees, this angle must also be 90 degrees. So we're trying to figure out what X equals if this angle right here equals 90 degrees, VSR. So 8X plus 18 equals 90, right? Subtract 18 from both sides. 8X equals 72. Divide by 8 on both sides. X equals 9. All right, luckily we were trying to solve for X. Find the value of X. So for this one, F would be 9 degrees. All right. All right, last big problem here. find the measure of USW if USW equals 7x minus 34 and TSR equals 4x plus 29. So you're looking at this and you're like, what? They're like, how do you know what they equal? How are you supposed to solve? You got USW over here. You don't know if that's a right angle or what. And you've got TSR on the bottom. How are you supposed to solve it? Well, if you've been looking at it, you can probably realize that USW right here and TSR are actually vertical angles. So they are actually equal. So you set them equal to each other. They equal to each other. Sub in what they equal. 7x minus 34 is USW and TSR is 4x plus 29. So I'm equal to each other and solve for x. So subtract from 4x on both sides. 7x minus 4x is 3x. Drop down to negative 34. 4x minus 4x is 0. Drop down to 29. All right. Then you want to get all your numbers to one side except for your variable. So you're going to add 34 to both sides. Minus 34 plus 34. They cancel out. You're left with 3x. 29 plus 34 equals 63. So 3x equals 63. You want to get rid of that 3, so you divide by 3 on both sides, and x equals 21. All right, USW equals 7x minus 34. We already know x equals 21, so we sub it in here for the x. So it's 7 times 21 minus 34. 7 times 21 is going to be 147. Minus 34 is going to be 113. All right, so you probably looked at this bonus problem and were like, what? How are we supposed to do this? Find the measure of angle A. If angle A is supplementary to angle B is supplementary to angle C. Angle B equals 12x plus 8. Angle C equals 8x minus 8. Whew. So angle B is 12x plus 8. Angle C is 8x minus 8. Add them together, you're going to equal 180, right? So make it a problem. Put them into equation. 12x plus 8 plus 8x minus 8 equals 180. Combine your like terms, and you're actually going to get 20x equals 180. Not so bad right now. You can solve for what x equals really quick. 20x divided by 20 is going to be x. 180 divided by 20 is going to be 9. X equals 9. Then you sub it in to figure out what b equals. B equals 12x plus 8. All right. And x equals 9. So it's 12 times 9 plus 8. 12 times 9 is 108. Plus 8 is 116. Okay. So knowing you could have also subbed it in for C, and you could probably realize this is a transitive. It's kind of like a little bit of the transitive stuff. Actually, we'll go over this a little bit more. This is like a supplementary angle theorem. But essentially, C and A are equal. So if you just solved for C, you would have been able to find it. But we went all the way through and we solved for B. Oops. We solved for B. So after you solve for B, you know B and A are supplementary. A plus B equals 180. And since B is 116, you do A plus 116 equals 180. And subtract from 116 from both sides, and A equals 64. All right. Whew. A lot of math to do right there. Hopefully, you guys have a good idea now what to do on the quiz. Remember, if you have any questions or concerns, please reach out so that way we can help. I hope everything is going well, and I hope everybody's staying safe, happy, hydrated, and healthy during these crazy times. And hopefully I will see you guys soon. Have a great day.